I'm telling you as an ex-Muslim.
In this video, we are going to look at how Muhammad disobeyed the Quran by engaging in sexual activity with his wives during their monthly period. In Surah chapter 2, verses 222, we read this: "Keep away from women during their menstrual periods and do not approach them until they are clean again." So that passage of the Quran makes it very clear that Allah prohibited men from coming near their wives or other women during their monthly period. And he engaged in sexual activities with his wives during their monthly period. Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 299, narrated by Aisha: "The Prophet and I used to take a bath from a single pot while we were janab. During my period, he used to order me to put on a dress below the waist and used to fondle me." Complete contradiction and complete disobedience to what God supposedly said in the Quran. Now, imagine this situation for a moment. Can you imagine the blood in the bath? This is just disgusting. But there are many other hadiths which say the same thing. Let me read to you another hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 302. Aisha said, "Whenever Allah's messenger wanted to fondle any one of us during her periods, he used to order her to put on a dress and start fondling her." Aisha added, "None of you could control his sexual desires as the Prophet could." So here we have another hadith supporting the previous hadith, so we can know for sure this is not an isolated report. But look at this hadith. It wasn't only with Aisha that he did this kind of thing, it was with his other wives as well. But let's keep reading other hadiths to support the same hadith claims that these ones have made. Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 298. "While I was laying with the Prophet under a single woolen sheet, I got my period. I slipped away and put my clothes on for menses. He said, 'Have you got your period?' I replied, 'Yes.' He then called me and made me lie with him under the same sheet." This kind of thing is just not only disgusting, but it's actually a contradiction and a disobedience of the commands given by Allah in the Quran.
Secara medis, wanita yang menstruasi itu dapat menjadi efek negatif kalau dia melakukan hubungan seksual.
Malah ada efek negatif ya?
Oh jelas, lebih banyak.
Lebih banyak yang
salah satunya negatif. Mungkin kalau Dr. John pernah dengar, ada istilah kista endometriosis. Atau kalau teman-teman di sini mau ngecek di Google apa sih endometriosis, kista coklat. Kenapa dibilang kista coklat? Karena kista itu isi darah. Dan darah itu terbentuk dari darah mens yang mestinya keluar.
Malah terkumpul di dalam.
Ini malah terdorong ke dalam. Jadi kayak orang tuh kayak keselak gitu loh. Kayak kesedak ke dalam. Jadi darahnya yang mestinya keluar, ke bawah lewat vagina keluar. Ini karena akibat hubungan seksual terdorong ke dalam, dia masuk ke dalam rongga perut. Nempel di indung telur, hidup di situ. Bulan depan dia mens, yang sel-sel darah ini yang nempel di indung telur akan menjadi tambah banyak, berkumpul menjadi bongkahan kista. Dan apa bahayanya endometriosis selain bikin nyeri pada saat mens, bisa mengganggu juga masalah fertilitasnya, bisa susah punya anak tuh.
Malah mempengaruhi dari kesuburannya sendiri.
Oh jelas, bisa nggak bisa hamil. Jadi kista endometriosis itu bisa menyebabkan infertilitas atau susah punya anak.
6130. I used to play with the dolls in the presence of the Prophet. and my girlfriends also used to play with me. When Allah's messenger used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. The playing with dolls and similar images is forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at that time, as she was a little girl not yet reached the age of puberty. Now notice this first hadith. This is just before their marriage. The Prophet would come and visit Aisha, and she was playing with little dolls. And the reason why she was playing with little dolls is because she was prepubescent. Otherwise, playing with dolls was forbidden in Islam. Now let me read to you another hadith, and you see that she was still playing with dolls the time that the marriage was consummated. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith 1422. Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported that Allah's apostle married her when she was 7 years old, and he was taken to his house as a bride when she was 9, and her dolls were with her. So this hadith makes it very clear that Muhammad married Aisha when she was 9 years old, and she still had her dolls with her. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith 5134, narrated by Aisha, that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage with her when she was 9 years old. Hisham said, I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years until his death. This is atrocious. Now, you might be looking at all this and wondering, why do Muslims record all this information? Why is it that Muslims record this sexual behavior of Muhammad in the hadith literature? Why? Why? The reason why is because the Quran says that Muhammad is the perfect example for all people, and they use these hadiths to justify their own actions. If Muhammad did it, then it's okay for them to do it. Let me read to you this passage of the Quran. Surah 33, verse 21. Indeed, in the messenger of Allah, Muhammad, you have a good example to follow for him who hopes in the meeting with Allah and the last day and remembers Allah much. Can you imagine a 52-year-old man forcing himself onto a little 9-year-old girl who hasn't even had her period yet? What would this little girl be thinking? What kind of trauma would she go through? And what would this 52-year-old man be thinking as he's parting the legs of this little girl? This is atrocious kind of behavior. No respectable person should do it. This kind of behavior is atrocious and shameful.
Selamat menikmati. Makasih ya. Dan yang kuning untukmu. Terima kasih, Nastya. Dan aku dapat 2. Nice.
Nah, ini dia.
Jadi gimana?
Lezat.